Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Shamiriel. Thank you for stopping by my channel. We're here today to talk And Just Like That, the Sex and the City reboot. You will have to forgive me. I did not recap episode 3. I tried and just couldn't get it together. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. But basically in that episode, we find out that Big left Natasha, his ex-wife from the show, $1 million, which she did not keep in her will. And I'm just trying to figure out what she has going on in her life to the point where someone leaves you $1 million in their will and you're just like, no, I'm okay, I'm good. Okay, girl. And I also skipped over episode 4. That's where all of the characters ended up spending more time with the melanated versions of themselves, because you know they're trying to be they're trying to correct the mistakes from their past and not including people with melanin in their storylines. So they're trying to do better, and so all of the characters hung out with melanated versions of themselves. Carrie hung out with Seema, who was her realtor. Charlotte hung out with LTW. Miranda hung out with Naya, her professor. And it seems to me like they came pretty close pretty quickly, no? Especially after that whole foot in the mouth wokeness situation Miranda had going on. But that's basically the gist of episodes 3 and 4. But today we are here to discuss Tragically Hip episode 5. And if you want to hear my recap and thoughts, then keep watching. Thank you. And we're back with notes. I have fronts and backs, so buckle up. The show starts off with Carrie showing Seema her brownstone from the show. And is it me, or is this the most we've ever seen of the brownstone? All we ever saw was the inside of Carrie's apartment, and now we're getting to see the walkway, the foyer, or is it foyer, whichever one, the steps that lead up to where she lives. So it's interesting to get a bigger picture of Carrie's living space back then and now. So when they walk in, Carrie grabs an umbrella to help her up the steps. She mentions her back trouble, I want to say in episode 2, and how Big would always rub her back. So she grabs an umbrella to go up the steps because she needs help. She's like, I have old lady back. That's what the internet says, whatever. Seema's like, girl, what does your orthopedist say? And Carrie's like, you know, I don't have one of those. Seema has a cousin who's an orthopedist. Orthopedist, right? Yeah, that's the title. Seema calls her cousin. She gets Carrie an appointment. Carrie goes. She finds out she has a birth defect with her hip. She does not have old lady back. Thanks, internet. And the doctor can fix her hip with surgery. And so she's meeting with her crew, Miranda, Charlotte, and now Anthony. He's their fourth. She's telling them about her surgery. She's like, I don't have old lady back. I'm not old lady. I'm not an old lady. But they're like, but you have a hip surgery though. So that's kind of an old lady thing. But whatever, go off, sis. It's 12:30. Actually, it's not even 12:30. And Miranda's like, let's get champagne to celebrate the fact that you're not an old lady. You just have a birth defect. Charlotte calls her out like, girl, it's not even 12:30. You trying to order champagne? Remember how I mentioned before that they're trying to like paint the storyline, like lead you up to the point where Miranda has a drinking problem? This is where we're going with it. Speaking of Anthony, let me pivot for a second, of Anthony being the fourth. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that on, I don't know if it was episode 3 or 4, I think it was 4, we say goodbye to Stanford unofficially. It was really weird how they wrote him off. In reality, his character, Willie Garson, the guy who plays Stanford, passed away during filming. And they wrote him off in what I think is a really weird way. He went to go, was it Tokyo? Or he went somewhere to go manage a TikTok star or something like that. And I was like, that's how y'all gonna do Stanford? Okay, but I didn't even know he passed away until the end of whichever episode that I didn't recap. And it was like in memory of. And I was like, wait, what? So now they're trying to, it seems like they're trying to put Anthony in that space where Stanford would sometimes be if Samantha weren't around, or maybe in addition to. So they're trying to work Anthony in there. So while they're at lunch, the crew is discussing Carrie's recovery and the shifts that they will all take in an effort to take care of her, because she's going to be on crutches, she's going to need physical therapy, and she cannot wear heels during her recovery. And if you're a Sex and the City fan, you know, I don't think that I've ever seen Carrie in a flat shoe back in the old episodes. So, which is that realistic, especially in New York? Is that, it doesn't seem like it. But she can't wear heels as a part of her recovery. That's clearly going to be an issue for Carrie. Charlotte is on a group chat with her mom friends that all go to, do Lily and Rose go to the same school or no? Either way, she's talking to all her mom friends, and they're talking to her about, oh, Rock this, Rock that, Rock is so funny. And Charlotte's like, who is Rock? Everybody gets off the call. LTW calls her. I'm just going to call her Lisa, especially because I don't remember what the T and the W stand for. Lisa calls her and she's like, girl, Rose told everyone to call her Rock. And she did mention, Rose, aka Rock, did mention in a previous episode how she doesn't feel like a girl. So again, they're setting the stage for a later storyline. Miranda's at home opening Amazon packages, for which she has a lot, and Brady's girlfriend is still there. Does that girl go home? Where are her parents? Why don't they care about her being at her boyfriend's house? Aren't they in high school? Aren't they like 17? I just think that's really weird. But again, the girlfriend's there. Miranda opens up a package that has a book in it, and the book is called Quit Like a Woman. Since Charlotte has been very vocal about Miranda's drinking in previous episodes, Miranda thinks that Charlotte ordered the book for her. So she's pissed off, telling Carrie, like, I can't even believe that she Amazoned me. She didn't even have the balls to say it to my face, whatever. We later find out that Miranda ordered that book for herself during one of her drunken stupors. So there's that. Carrie has her surgery, is successful, she's recovering. Miranda and Charlotte are there waiting by her bedside. Che calls Miranda's podcast boss, and I said Miranda's. Carrie's podcast boss, Che, calls while Carrie is waking up. She wants to come up, she has food, and Carrie's like, nope, too many people, I gotta pee, basically deal with it. I don't want any more company. So Miranda goes downstairs to sit with Che, and they get to know a little bit about each other. Miranda learns about Che's past and just how she came to be who she is now. So Miranda is at Carrie's house for her shift to take care of Carrie. Che comes over again. This time she has tequila, and I felt like she has something. Oh, and a new microphone for Carrie. Was that why she came over? Yes, she brings a mic for the podcast and tequila. Carrie is sleeping, but Miranda's like, come on up. Che asks Miranda to do a shot, and of course, Miranda is not going to turn down a shot. So that happens. They're drinking. They low-key loud. I'm like, y'all know she in the next room sleep. Che likes a joint. In a previous episode, Che had shotgunned Miranda, and so Miranda, trying to be flirty, she's like, oh, if you didn't have to go somewhere, I'd ask you to shotgun me again. Okay, girl. So Miranda asks Che to shotgun her. One thing leads to another, and Che winds up with her hands down Miranda's pants. Carrie wakes up and needs to pee, but she doesn't say anything to Miranda, who's in her kitchen. She can see them from a mirror in her room. She sees this happening, but she doesn't say anything. So she's like, oh, I'm just gonna pee in this Snapple bottle next to my bed. Girl. Okay. Also, Miranda was making a lot of noise. Is there something? Miranda was making an obscene amount of noise, but maybe. So I also thought it was rude and disrespectful that she's doing that in this woman's house. You're supposed to be watching over me. Meanwhile, that's the direct opposite of what you're doing. And I just think it was hella disrespectful that she was doing it in Carrie's house. And I thought it was weird of Carrie to not cuss them out. Be like, what the F are y'all doing in my MFing kitchen? So anyway, Carrie lets Miranda finish. The pee bottle that she has, she spills. So now she has a mattress and sheets soaked with her urine. Che ends up leaving before Carrie gets into Miranda's ass. And she tells Miranda, if you want to hang out again, DM me. Carrie lets Miranda have it. She's pissed that she left her alone. Again, you're supposed to be watching over me, but you in my kitchen getting. Can I say that? Anyway, so Miranda says, well, maybe I just had a little bit too much to drink. I just won't drink tequila anymore. And Carrie's like, well, girl, maybe you do have a drinking problem because, you know, it's in the afternoon and you taking shots. What are you, in college? So Miranda gets into how she started drinking during the pandemic and most people stopped, but she didn't. So that is basically what led her to her apparent drinking problem, is being on quarantine and drinking. Miranda breaks down about how unhappy she is in her marriage, how she hates her life, and she says she doesn't want to stop messing around with Che because she's, quote, never felt so alive. I'm telling Che does have energy, so I can see it. I can sense it from the screen. So I get it, Miranda. But girl, are we not gonna see Samantha at all? I'm curious as to, I mean, because we know that Kim Cattrall, the lady who plays Samantha, and Sarah Jessica Parker, from my understanding, don't get along in real life. They've said that Samantha's not going to return, but they keep alluding to her. They alluded to her in episode 1 and episode 2. Did they in episode 3? I'm not sure if they did in 3, but my point is, in this episode, Carrie and Samantha are texting. And I'm just like, so she's just going to kind of be this elephant that's not really in the room, but y'all keep talking about. I just think it's kind of weird that I just feel like if they were going to bring her up, they should have brought her up in episode 1, addressed it, and been done with it. But they keep kind of lingering on it. I don't know. It's weird to me. So a part of me thinks maybe it's just promo, and she will come back maybe for a few minutes or call or do like a Zoom or something. I don't know. We'll see. And the episode ends with Carrie going to physical therapy, and just like that, she's able to get back in her heels after 3 months of physical therapy after her hip surgery. So what a tangled web Miranda has woven, and it'll be interesting to see how it all ends up. I have my theories, but obviously I won't know until I see the episode. You guys let me know your thoughts. If you're still even watching, what do you think about it all? I want to hear. Yeah, that's all for now. So until my next video, I'll see you later. Bye.